swinging by the Safety Solutions Academy YouTube channel. My name's Paul. Today you can see we've got at least parts of 3 Glock pistols on the table in front of us. We're going to be heading on over to see Bob Mazoris at Templar Custom Arms, and he's going to be doing some work on these pistols. So I'm going to do a detail strip on the top end of these pistols now. I've got 3 pistols. I want to make sure that the parts stay with each pistol when they come back from Bob. So you can see I've got little tubs here, and I've indicated part of the serial number on each of the tubs so that I can put the small parts in. We have already done a field strip on the top ends of these Glocks. I've got 2 Glock 22s that have Lone Wolf barrels with them that I use for rental with the courses that I teach, and also I've got the top end of a Glock 21. Right now the frame for this pistol is back at Glock being replaced. We were able to break it. So we're going to get the top end worked on and just wait to do the work that we need to do on the bottom end of that pistol. Again, first step is to make sure that the pistols are properly field stripped, and these are properly field stripped, so we're ready to go. We're going to start out by removing the back plate of the pistols, and it's a pretty simple process. The first thing we need to do is we need to pull the plunger to the rear, and when you take a look inside you can see that there's a little bit of a half moon there. It's actually a part of the pistol that you see it's spring loaded and depresses down. If I use my, and this happens to be from Brownells, it's their Magnatip Glock tool, comes with all the parts or tips you need to deal with a Glock pistol. We're going to use that to depress down on that plunger. I'm going to set the slide straight down, depress the plunger, and then I'm going to slide the back plate off with my thumb. Now keep in mind that there are parts here that are spring loaded inside, so before I release that plunger I'm going to make sure my thumb is sitting on top so that parts don't go flying. As soon as I pull that out of there I feel them hit the bottom of my thumb. I'm going to drop the parts from this pistol into my little tub here, and then we're going to go ahead and start pulling things out. Here you see we've got our striker assembly. We're going to set that inside for right now, and then we've got our spring that tensions our extractor claw. We're going to pull that out, set it aside. I'm going to do that on each of the pistols now so you can see that step repeated over and over again. Again, we're going to depress the half moon behind the firing pin spring. We're going to slide the back strap off and pull that tip out. We can feel that impact behind us, dropping the parts where they belong as they go. And again, everything just comes right on out, drops into the bucket. And we'll do the same on the Glock 21. One of the things you'll notice is all of the Glocks operate in the same way, and all of the Glocks come apart or to get taken apart and get put back together in the same fashion as well. Drop the parts right in here. Since you are working with springs and parts under tension, you might consider wearing safety glasses when you do this work. Something to keep in mind. I have had springs get away from me in the past. Next thing we need to do on these pistols is remove the extractor. We need to make sure that we retain this spring-loaded little pin here, so I'm going to make sure that's covered with my thumb, and I'm simply going to grab onto that extractor. And sometimes it's a little bit tough, and we just simply slide it right out of there. Comes right out, drop that in, and then again, that's a spring-loaded part. You'll be able to see that when I pull that out of there, there's a spring on it. And sometimes it doesn't quite want to come. So just takes a little extra work. There, we just about got it. Now I can get a hold of it and get it out of there. Good sign that this pistol needed some cleaning. We'll do the same thing here. Again, want to put some tension. Rotate this back and just get a hold of it. Pop it right out. If you need to, you can also use this tool to get right underneath it and do some pulling to wiggle it on out. There we go. Drop it right on in the bucket. And finally on the Glock 21. That one's acting more like it should. Comes right on out. Now we've taken all the major pieces out of the Glock. One of the things I want to point out to you, You do need to probably learn how to field strip your Glock or be ready to make some regular appointments with a gunsmith. It's pretty important in a Glock that this channel, any striker fired pistol in fact, this channel needs to stay clear. We don't want oil to get into that channel. If it does, it has a tendency to attract dirt, grime, pieces of brass that have broken off shells, all kinds of things that get in there. And when that happens, it can impede your firing pin. If you're having light strikes on a Glock pistol, that may be one of the problems that you're looking at. So you should be doing a detail strip on the top end of your Glock pretty regularly to make sure that the striker channel is nice and clear. Now that I've pointed that out, we want to take apart the remainder of the pieces. Let me go ahead and get these 3 pistols up out of the way. And I'm simply going to move our tubs into the prominent position here. We do have some little parts that need to be addressed. You can see here's our striker, our tensioner for our extractor, and then the retaining pin for the extractor. Our back plate fully disassembled. We can drop that back in. I really don't feel much of a need to do anything with this piece here. It usually stays together. As with the retaining pin, I'll wipe that off, clean all the carbon off, and make sure it's nice and clean before we put it back together, but I don't feel I need to take it apart. The only part that I do want to take apart is our striker assembly. And it's pretty straightforward to do. If you take a look, we've got 2 half-circle washers here that act as the retainers for this spring. And usually on disassembly, it's pretty simple to use your thumb to draw that spring back and to be able to capture those 2 pieces. And you can see those 2 pieces there in my hand. I'm going to make sure that those little pieces end up in the tub. And then again, this is under tension, so I've got to be careful when I release that spring. I can go ahead and disassemble that spring right off the top there and pull that apart, drop it into our bin. Make sure our extractor makes it back as well. We'll do the same thing on the second Glock 22. Again, we're going to pull the spring back and capture those 2 half moons. One of the reasons you see this green pad that I have down here, some people might use that to keep their bench clean. I don't give a rat's ass about my bench. What I'm concerned about is making sure that I retain parts. You saw that that half moon washer got away from me a little bit. Well, that's exactly why it's there. It's going to help grab on. See if I can do a little bit better job with the Glock 21. And there we go. We've got the 2 parts right there ready to go. Drop those into the tub. Pistols are ready for custom work on the top end, ready for a good cleaning when they come back, and we'll make sure that things go together. And the nice thing is that I've got each of the tubs marked so that I know what pieces parts go with what pistol. Hopefully this little field strip for the top end was helpful for you. If you have questions, shoot me an email. Paul at Safety Solutions Academy is where you'll find me. And get out there, get some training. Make sure when you do, you keep it simple. Make sure you stay safe. And as always, hey, have a great day.